What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. I'm Eve. I'm here with my friend, my co-host, the lovely Marie. There she is. And yeah, we're here. We're doing it. Earlier, I had it set for some weird random time. I think that really was YouTube and not me, because I don't know why I would have set it for so early, but
You
no,
mean you don't want to podcast at 2:22 in the afternoon?
definitely was not trying to have anything at 2:22, but the premiere of Eyelids. You see that one? You know, when you go to sleep? No, I'm just
Time travel, as my daughter likes to call it. Like naps are really just time travel. I'm like, absolutely.
yeah, because you boop. Now it's that time where you didn't even know that you had even been asleep. So without further ado, canceled. Who's canceled? What's canceled? I don't know. Y'all are some funny people. The news has been riddled with so many different people who people want us to cancel. We They want us not to pay attention to them. They want us not to support them. And whether I agree or disagree, I find that people are fickle AF. Fickle as fuck. Let's just be blunt.
I mean, they're fickle and they also have a short attention span.
This
Oh, yeah. Or they just believe everything they hear, too. You're like,
exactly. Believing what you hear. Um, I'm gonna throw y'all a bone. The news is saying that the other news is fake news. All of the news channels essentially are saying, hey, don't listen to them. That's fake news. So I get it. Right now, we're in a very weird time where it's like, what's real? What's fake? Who knows? If you're unable to make those decisions by yourself, then well, I'm glad you're here to have conversations with us. Not that we're going to make the decision for you, but maybe we can help you jump down one of those rabbit holes that you need to be jumping down so you can at least have all of the information. Some of the information, most of it, it's still so much we don't know, right,
do
Maria?
they really want the
Do
information?
they even really want it? Um, let's well, last week we talked about the Diddler. No, let me not do that. Last week we talked about Diddy, and did he do it? Did he do what? Because a lot of things he said he did himself. So if we're still asking if he's done something that he's said he's done, things that he's promoted himself. I watched an interview. He was on the Breakfast Club, and I don't know from when the interview was, but they played a clip from one of his freak off parties, right? And
Oh, he was so embarrassed. He surprised. He didn't even know he was that gay. Like the facial expression, like he was shocked. Like y'all got that video? Because he like, yeah, go ahead, play the video, play the.
yeah, I didn't know y'all
It
was gonna
was
play that
quiet.
video.
Like, what did you mean by you like when you do it like that, Daddy? When you scraping and scram? What man is calling another man daddy? There's so many things there. There's so much to unpack, but I mean, it still reminds me of when someone else submitted to a lot of things, but that was part of their time, and you guys, defended him. So,
And I mean, people what I'll understand is I'll always give the benefit of the doubt to a person who says, I didn't know. And now that I know, I'm going to do better. It's going to be hard. Things are not going to be smooth, but it is something that needs to happen, right? I'm saying that I need to change. Things need to change. That needs to change, whatever it is. And then they go about making the
and
change.
do better.
Sometimes, I liken it to when we try to go on a diet or a lifestyle change with regards to like our health. A lot of times we don't really do it the way we want to do it, but the people who do want to do it, they get there, and it's slow and it's rough and they backtrack, and it they're hard on themselves, and all of that is part of the process, right? But that's not the average Joe or Jill or guy or girl or whatever. I think most
Whatever you
people,
call him, whatever you
whatever
identify
you
as. Whatever you identify as.
that part, just claim whoever you are and just know that I know that most of us are not really trying to change or do anything that supports the things that we're talking about as much as we do like to talk. We like to have chit chat, gossip or shoot the shit with people because it passes the time and it keeps people from looking at our own stuff. But when we do that, what are we inviting in? Um, DL Hughley has been in my timeline a lot because of how he feels about the Vice President Kamala Harris and her identification. People have been highlighting the fact that in his own house, his daughter has problems because he ignored her to live his best life, to be famous, to, get the bag or whatever. So now they're estranged. And he's talked about their estrangement. And I guess some people are like, well, what else can he do? But I don't know, as much as he needs to work on his relationships, maybe we don't talk so loudly about anything else, right? Because your shit stinks. And when your shit stinks, then how can people focus on anything positive or anything that you're doing that could help other people when you've got this steaming pile of shit just attached to you? But that's just my personal thought. I don't know if he's been on your timeline. I know we navigate different social media platforms. You being more on Facebook and Instagram, and me trying to stay away from both of those. But they've been letting him have it, and I think it's necessary. I think he needs to take her home. What do you think?
So why do you feel like it's necessary? Just out of curiosity.
Because how do you? Well, his commentary with regards to Kamala's identity has not just been, oh, she's black. It's been, oh, you niggas is dumb because you're not accepting what we're telling you she is. And everybody's just, at least, let's not say everybody, a lot of people are just asking, well, where is the blackness? Is it just in her melanin? Is it in her, in how she's lived her life and her cultural practices? Where is it? Is it in her, how her mama cooks her greens? Don't do that. Don't do that. But where is it? And since there hasn't been any answers for that, why do we got to be dumb niggas? Why can't it just be that y'all don't want to answer the question, or you just don't know? What's wrong with saying you don't know? You saw she got brown in her. You said all brown people is black, and then that was it. Why can't they just own that? But they won't do that either. And from there, I'm like, well, if you've got all this rage against me and people who have the same argument, then yeah, maybe you need to focus on home. Maybe you need to be quiet because you got shit. And maybe you take care of your shit, then you might be able to see it how we're seeing it. But now you got a lot of shit, so you want to ignore a lot of shit. See, it fits. Like, you've been ignoring shit. Now you want us to ignore shit. The maths. But they don't want to put it like that either. And that is confusing for me. But that's just me, so
I asked that only because I personally, so two things. One, Bill Cosby had a lot of negative things to say about the black community. He had a lot of shit, but everyone loves to defend him. Even though
why do you think that is, though?
Because to me, they identify Bill Cosby as Cliff Huxtable.
Okay, now who is D.L. Hughley?
But then, like I said, even too, then that's still kind of like, fuck is wrong with that? They're not the same people. But then, so there's that. So that's what I just wanted to point out. Like, y'all let that shit fly. True. Here's my thing. I feel like really is that Janet Jackson is a beloved black icon, and people are offended that he said something about her. And so to me, that's where really it's not so much like we've always known that did the diddler. Everyone has been pretty much, just in general, Democrats, black people have been whitewashed, or I don't even know who to be whitewashed or whatever. Like, you have been convinced to promote and open to Democrats. They're always told that they're about, they're on their side, etc. So I don't really feel like he's moving any different than the rest of Hollywood or rest of those people. Beyonce, She supported Barack Obama. Like, we can go down. Matter of fact, we canceled somebody for performing at Trump's inauguration, and she actually got paid to perform. So it wasn't like she was there for free. Like, I love you so much, right? So I feel like there's a lot to examine here, because to me, to be honest with you, I felt like Janet Jackson shouldn't have said shit. She should have shut the fuck up. And I personally feel like if you don't know about something, then don't speak on it. So even to apologize to me sounded stupid, because really you're saying you don't know shit. You don't care about politics. You have no interest in politics, which is fine. So you answer that question accordingly, like, hey, don't know much about her. That's not really my bag. That's not something I'm into. I know.
Isn't that essentially what happened, though? I mean, like, so Janet's in this interview.
I don't know. For me to the last thing I would say is to doubt someone's ethnicity, and I don't know shit about them. Like, well, I heard her dad white.
Look, what you just did was some nigga shit. That's been my entire argument about it. Is that doing some nigga shit should not be a cancelable moment. Especially if you didn't come to this interview saying that you was about to talk politics. Like, we supposed to be talking about my personal life, my career, my babies, my man, or like.
But her response was some nigga shit. She should have been like, look, that ain't my bag. Girl, I don't know nothing about that. Like, I know plenty of people that don't know shit about, politics, but can tell you all about sports. You like, hey, I don't really know. I just, I got this one team. I know they publicly owned. I know that they have the most championships. I don't know what your team is. I just know they have that. But to me, honestly, but here's the thing.
The apology is not real, though, right?
Absolutely.
And that person isn't even associated with her people.
No, so the apology wasn't real, but then they also came out and said it wasn't real, but that they have respect for Kamala or some shit like that.
And what's wrong
when they said that they didn't issue that apology? You don't have respect for somebody you don't know?
No, yeah, you don't have respect. That's a good question.
I can't respect someone I don't know like that. Now it just sounds like I'm saying the PC shit.
But isn't that exactly what they wanted her to do anyway?
Was some bullshit. Like, that's where it all opened the door. Like, listen, girl, I don't know about that. Back to this album.
That's probably what should have happened. But I'm gonna give her some grace. She got a death in her family. They're dealing with laws, but interviews, they be scheduled. You can't necessarily get around certain things or whatever. And maybe the publicity was supposed to do something positive in light of the tragedy, but
they asked her because she was black.
They asked her because they need celebrities and entertainers to say that
I need black celebrities and entertainers.
Especially
so would you be asking me if I was white? That's what I would ask her. Would you be asking me this shit if I was white?
Well,
like, why would you ask me about her?
They would and wouldn't, only if it's, there's been a lot of white people who've spoken up about Kamala's identity, but not to say that she's black. They're saying that anybody who says she's not black is racist, except for the black people who can't be racist. And then they're saying that we're Trump supporters, and then just, pushing and spewing a Trump argument. My thing is, black is only, you have to identify as black to be black. It's not a blanket statement approach thing that we can use.
You have to be identified as black to be black, because let's be honest. We don't. It's not that we've been identified as black. We were labeled as black because it's social control by white people.
But that's also part of our cultural identity. This
as Americans,
trifecta amalgamation of these niggas who weren't niggas. Like, our story puts us all together as black. From there, even some of us don't want to be black. Oh, that's a crayon. Oh, it's dead. Oh, the government doesn't, whatever. I filled out a demographic survey today, and the only categories were black, white, Asian,
or
Hispanic.
And then it's like Hispanic, non-black Hispanic.
Right, and Hispanic, right. You got Hispanic.
Black Latino or white Latino.
Right, exactly. So right now, especially since it seems like a lot more people actually understand the argument than say that they do, people who are black get to say that they're black. If Kamala wants to be black or wants us to identify her as black, then she's going to have to, I'm a black woman. But when she does that, then black people are going to say, well, where are your black policies? Where are your black where are your Black things that show that you support Black as much as you are?
Like, I was at AKA, bitch, and I went to a HBCU. I don't know. So that's the thing, that what we deem Black sometimes is stereotypical shit. Even your Black policies, they don't go for every Black person. That's the idea too, that one Black is monolithic, or the idea that because really what a lot of Black policies or whatever, let me make sure because I'm in my circle, a lot of the Black policies per se, or what people would deem Black, unless you're specifically like maybe you're talking about reparations. Outside of that, there's nothing that would encompass all Black people like in totality. If you say income demographics, well, what if you're going off there's a big that's what I'm looking for. There's a disparity among income in general within Black Black people. So even to say, well, because then it sounds like you only doing something for this group of Blacks.
But that's why I don't like the weed policies or the prison reform. Like you can't put me in these categories that I don't belong in. All Black people don't smoke weed. All Black people don't.
Going back to the reason why that's considered a Black policy is because it disproportionately impacts Black people, and that's where it's kind of like, but I ain't one of them Black folks, and that's where we get kind of, and like when we really start getting into the gray area, or we really start drilling in and start getting granular. We're not like, we very different. All of us are very different.
We're not alone.
Socioeconomic class, etc. So it doesn't, I guess for me, I just feel like Janice shouldn't have said that shit. I feel like D.L. Hughley's a fucking comedian. He be saying shit. And I feel like really we don't even care about the Kamala part. We're just like, how dare you say she got a white nose? We're like, never mind that she does. So does Toya. So does Michael. Michael died a white woman. Like, I mean,
Michael died. Oh, let's go there. Michael died with he was a person who had issues, and we're living in a time where everybody wants us to accept their issues, but then right now you can't have issues and people not joke you in your grave. Like, Michael was a Black man with issues. He didn't have, I don't know what the fuck he had because I'm not there. What I know is that he said,
like, there were so many things between the voice.
But you've heard his real voice though, right?
The hair, but I remember his hair did not look like that.
But this is issues.
So I'm like, so what happened? Like, I mean, when your skin turned white because of your medical condition, your hair turned white too?
Issues.
And then you literally were choosing white women. There's something.
Is it part of the system? Issues. Black people are.
That wasn't even the same man from Jackson 5. That wasn't even the same person. Like, that is not. It was. He was probably somewhere in his body somewhere trying to get out.
You play me in a movie, you better make it a Black man.
I mean, for what part? You mean he was a Black kid?
No, he was a Black man. You could see in
even in a white woman's body.
What video was it with the
He was lighter than me.
Huh?
He was lighter than me. His hair was finer than mine.
Issues, Marie. Cake soap is issues. Skin bleaching is issues. Being told that you have to look a certain part and sound a certain way to get over or to get by.
But I don't know what he was getting over, because being a Black male does have tokenism in itself. So part of me was like, who did you want to be accepted by? Because you were received by the Black culture, and even too, there's a certain like, again, tokenism, where even being a Black man's like, oh.
Is it tokenism, or is it knowing that the environment that you're playing and that the environment that you're playing in is dangerous for a Black man to exist comfortably? Check it. If Michael stayed Black, had a Black woman and Black family like he came up in, like the Jackson 5, do you really think that he would have been the person that we know today?
Absolutely. But think about it. He really didn't become weird to us until he started doing that. He was still that guy. He was still that guy in the 80s. When he went out solo, had his own career, he was still very successful.
Right, but this there's been studies and interviews, anecdotal and data that shows that masculine Black men with melanin are a threat to white society in the form and fashion they're going to rape your daughters, and they're going to take your women, and the propaganda that was passed out and believed. Not that it was real shit, but just, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing goes into this real big with the white man's infatuation with the black penis and his seed and the domination aspect and the fact that your generation can be annihilated just over time if you water it down, or immediately if you darken it up. So if this is where people are moving
He's
from,
right to some degree.
but so his white skin doesn't mean that his seed isn't melanated.
We're not even sure if they're missing.
So we're not going to say that they are or not. He claimed them before he died.
So I feel like that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of nuances. There's some strange
It
shit.
is very messy.
Let's say that there's some strange shit that occurred. He's such a one-off. Even the idea that let's say everything you're saying is 100% right. I like, being a woman that has a white mother, right? Mm-hmm. Having a black father. There's some spaces where even some black spaces I'm not all the way welcomed in. There's some white space I might be welcomed in, but they're more curious than anything. But I say all that to say that I never what can I do to be accepted by you white motherfuckers? Or like what, and even too, I don't feel like I don't do anything to play into, like I am who I am. So I'm not worried about, so I'm not even with my kids, my daughter felt like she didn't talk a certain way when she first got to her HBCU. You just find some motherfuckers that talk like you. I'm not going to apologize for providing a good life for you. I worked hard, and everything that people associate with black oftentimes is just poverty. So don't fucking ever mistake the two.
We're not dumbing ourselves down. No.
Yeah.
Hell no.
So we
watch this show tonight so she can know it's a hell no to the watering down of who you are. But what it really means is that steel sharpens steel. A lot of times people get around people and they want to do better because of people that they've been around. She's going to get around some people and they're going to want to level up because she's already there. Not too worried about her as much as some of you other motherfuckers out here. And Jermaine, no, not you. I like what you said in the chat. He didn't want to look or sound like his dad. And those are issues. And I'm saying it like that because when I start saying mental issues without being a personal letters behind my name, these are my professional opinions. I could source my academic background to make you niggas believe me more.
I mean, there's something occurring. He's trying to maybe capture his childhood that he did.
All of it. Issues.
Which again, I don't want us to devote, we really wasn't here to talk about Michael, just open the can of worms.
That's why they asked her, because Janet got white children, half children. Janet has mulatto children. Michael's got issues, and they're the biggest ones.
I'm like, let's not use mulatto. That actually is a slave term. So I'm like, let's not use that word either. She has a child that's biracial.
No. Mulatto is not a slave term. You've been misinformed. Mulatto actually means black and native. That's the first mixture of us. Claim it, Marie. Don't be afraid of it. Now, I wasn't calling you an octoroon or a quadroon. Them slave terms. Now, I feel you. Let me be gentle. I don't like Negro and freedman for the same reason. So it's cool. However y'all identify is all good with me as long as you didn't have a penis and try to say you a bitch. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, this wasn't. This is really about, can we cancel Janet? Y'all better not. Not because she was doing some nigga shit.
I guess here's my thing though. So I'm gonna say this and people aren't gonna like this. Fuck these celebrities. It's not even a cancel. Like, let's stop. Like, she's not a fucking go-to resource for your political advice or commentary or anything like that. Just like DL Hughley isn't. And that's where our problem lies, I think, for me. And that's where I'm just like, one, she should shut the fuck up if she doesn't know. Say, I don't know. It's okay to I don't know. I don't know. You're asking about the things. Who is that? What is that? It's okay to be like, I don't fucking know. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
And the other reason I'm gonna give her that out is because she wasn't ready for the conversation. Now, Nosheen Iqbal, you come ask me anytime, any day, I'm gonna let you know Kamala Harris is not black. She does have a messy beginning, but how she identifies as a woman of color. And I think that's probably the most honest thing that I could say about her. From there, she wants an economic opportunity for all, and that don't mesh with the blacks because the blacks need we need the rising tide not to be lifting all boats if we don't repair the boat. So from Nasheen Iqbal, you knew what
so
you
are
were
you saying we need equality or we need equity or both? Are you saying we need equity to reach equality, or are you saying you only support equality or equity?
No. I don't support equality at all, because equality is not equal. The same way men and women are not equal. We'll never be equal. We don't do the same shit. We can't do the same shit. Does it mean that we should both be respected? That's a different conversation. But equity, yeah, you can't rising tide lift the boat with a hole in it. We would have to fix the boat first. Then, sure, the tide can come and everybody can leave because the tide has come and it's time to go. But until then, our asses are gonna still be here when the tide comes, and then shit, we're gonna have extra work because of wood rot and water damage and shit. I'm tired from scooping this water out the damn boat. It's just a lot. Like, can we cancel the government? Like, because today a man was killed. Did y'all hear about him? His name, Marcellus Williams. He was executed 10 minutes ago, according to USA Today's article. And he was found guilty of a murder that the DNA evidence said later that he was innocent. And for years, he's maintained his innocence. And then all the appeals, Supreme Court, et al. Said, nah, you gonna die. And then they proceeded with the death penalty by lethal injection. Like, y'all want to cancel these entertainers. I want to cancel this system that continues to fuck us. Because how do you have DNA evidence and the prosecutor saying, look, I got it wrong. It's wrong. And then you can't, Marie, what?
So it's actually very rare for them to grant anyone a stay. I'll be honest and say that my ex-husband's father was incarcerated for 11 years for a crime he did not commit, and the Innocence Project helped to get him exonerated, but it was him and multiple people. They even for years already had like a letter of admission from someone else. How do I say this? It's kind of one of the things I don't really I guess that's why the death penalty and all that, like as much as you desire that they get it wrong so much, that what could, like what would be the outcome or what could really happen. And this is an example of them getting it wrong and the person paying for that. And they get it so they don't mind getting it wrong when it's a black body.
Right.
When it's a black body to fill their prisons, to meet their quotas, to make their money, to make their profit, they don't mind. And again, they don't mind killing another black person. They only mind when you do, but they don't really. They just need your body too. Right. So that's why you're going to jail.
Oh yeah, like a 2-for-1 special. Like you took one out.
Oh, yeah.
One right.
One down, take one. Like it's all right. I think it's disappointing. I did look up like to see if they're like how often. It seemed like it's very rare. The only time they did it, they was like someone that 20 minutes before. He also was not a black man. He was Hispanic, but it was 20 minutes before they granted him stay, and it was because they were able to prove due to DNA testing. However, it also goes back to like a situation where even I think that there was someone else that needed to be exonerated or something on the Kamala Harris, like in California. And she initially, like she was keeping back the evidence and had to be forced to release it in order for this person to be granted clemency or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think overall we know that the judicial system is flawed overall. And I think that does go back to some of the things that while you may not commit a crime, the judicial system is flawed in a way that it primarily impacts Black people. Disproportionately. Therefore, any type of laws that are put in place or legislation that allow some leniency is supposed to be considered for Black people.
I think that's probably something we should look at. Talking to my students and to some of y'all's minis when they come on Sunday school, it's so crazy to me that we have a living document that is our law system. But when it was formed, we were not, I know we've been amended into, right? But we were not the thought when the Constitution and the framers, or however you want to frame it, we weren't that thought as much as we were thought to always be a permanent working underclass. From there, the prison system has been the way for them to feed that permanent working underclass by any means necessary, because prior to the prison system, it was literally chattel slavery. So all I see is that the system's working just fine. We need to dismantle these systems. I mean, yeah, we probably do need to have something for people who killing people who rape children, and people who do things to animals, because what's wrong with y'all? But outside of that, I mean, prior to the end of slavery, you really wasn't going to jail. There was no prison and jail. I mean, you really had to really be a bad person for them to send the deputy or the mayor of the town. You had to be a bad somebody for them to want you locked away. And it wasn't locked away to do forced labor. Now we've got locked away to do forced labor for pennies on the penny, and then from there, it's working just fine. I would love to cancel some of these systems, because people think that they're broken, and when you try to fix something that's not broken, you're not going to do anything to it. It's just going to get better, right? We probably need to break it. Maybe we break it, right? How do you break something that's working just fine? I don't know. These are questions that I have, but in a time when the conversations are on Janet and Diddy and DL and all these celebrities who really shouldn't be paid attention to, because they've never said, hey, follow me, I'm going to lead you to anything. They're pay attention to me because I'm funny, right? Listen to me because I can sing. Watch me because I can dance and I'm sexy. Diddy, take that. I don't know. I know some of y'all think he's the best rapper alive, and that's not me. I'm just saying. But to the rest of y'all, I don't know who he was, except for a person who was making other introductions to other people, for people, meeting people.
I thought he was just a producer.
So yeah, but a producer is like the person who's, don't get me started on producers. I'm not saying that they're not necessary. I'm just saying that it's all more of the same. These are all artists at the end of the day. Nobody political, not people running for president. I mean, shit, that interview with Oprah, I almost want Oprah to run. Not because I'd vote for her, but just she was more competent. The conversation was audible because Oprah was there helping her out. And I'm like, damn, maybe Oprah need to run for president. But then, nah, she don't need to run for president either. She just needs to do the entertainer thing or do the journalism thing. Or
Oprah?
Yeah.
She could probably go to prison with Diddy.
With Diddy? But that's the other side of things, Marie.
I think I am, my conversation overall is somewhat of a cancel culture. It is somewhat of like the way that a lot of people, and I don't want to say, I mean, I have white friends, I have friends of all ethnicities. However, I'm going to say observationally that I do see a certain group of people that, again, evangelize celebrities. They act like they're, and I'm trying to say this as nice as possible.
No, stop that.
I'm thinking
y'all celebrity worship.
They worship celebrities. They want to be like them. They hang off of every fucking word. They desire that. That's what, like, even too, it's like everyone wants to be fucking famous. Like no one just wants to be comfortable or something. Like everyone wants to be famous. They want to be famous on Twitter. They want to be famous on Instagram. So you got this bad bitch culture. They want to dress like they're the models in the fucking videos. Like it's like they're emulating all this shit they see in pop culture, hip hop, rap, whatever we want to call this shit. This is what everyone's like. This is what I want to be when I grow up. Like those aren't fucking goals.
Absolutely,
they're not goals.
They're not goals.
Really very dark lives that like you have no fucking idea about. All you see is this little thing, the little video. You see a clip. You see clips. You see sound bites.
Sound bites. Yes.
You don't know the inner workings of this person's life or what they had to give up or the ass they had to give up. Your favorite rapper's gay. What they had to do to get to where they are. There's a lot of sacrifices and compromising of their fucking identity, their ethics, like overall who they are, who they portray themselves to be is not even that.
Absolutely.
You even talk about some of y'all favorite rappers talking about they rent jewelry.
Yeah, y'all gonna have to.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's like you guys aspire to be the wrong people. You need to aspire to be, we need motherfucking mechanics. We need surgeons. We need mental health therapists. Yes. There's so many other things we still need, but y'all busy still trying to like push your mixtape. You still want to get famous being a rapper. We need authors. We need veterinarians. Hell, we still need a fucking trash man. We need a man that's going to pick up the fucking trash. Like a janitor matters.
I'm gonna say plumbers matter. Look, y'all, these trades that people don't want you to go in because they're blue collar and maybe a little funky or something. Because if you're the trash man, I can only imagine what your laundry smells like. But the trash people make 6 figures, and it's because of what they got to deal with. Maybe not all the trash men, but it's a
it can't
decent paying job with benefits.
But I mean, overall, it's like some
not 40 years old trying to put out a mixtape. Eric, stop that.
Like people are busy talking down, talking shit, blah blah blah. Or like I said, it's like this whole fact. Well, they said, oh, so I love this person or that person. You don't know shit about this person or that person. You don't really know their inner workings. You just know what they present to people. You know what I mean? And it doesn't even mean that they're lying. It's that you made an assumption. No different than someone posting in their story or they make a post. What you want me, like, it's like, oh, his life is so great. Would you like me posting when I'm fucking shit-faced drunk or when I'm in tears? Do you want to know about when I'm mad? Do you want to know about when I couldn't make that one bill? Like, what did you want me to post when I had a flat tire on the road or when I was arguing with my kid's father about paying child support or I couldn't come up with said money? Like, no one's posting about that shit. Honestly, you guys would unfollow them. And again, it's not that someone's lying. It's that one, it wasn't your fucking business. Let's start there. But then 2, this is like, people post the nice things. Oh, these are beautiful flowers. No one's posting that the flowers died a week later. Y'all want to see a picture of my dead flowers? Like, no one wants to see that shit. So that's not what people are posting. But for some reason, you've made up this, like, oh, their life is, it's so great. I love blah, blah, blah. And again, why am I taking advice for a motherfucking musician? Bitch, if you want to tell me how to like mix some motherfucking, make some beats or something, I'll go to you. If I want to know how to rape someone and get away with it, I might go to you. I'm going to go to you on the shit that you're an expert about, but I'm never coming to you for political advice.
That part, not Taylor Swift.
Maybe how to murder someone and get away with it. I don't know. Y'all want to see a dead body? I don't know. But seriously, it's like there's too much fanfare, too much notoriety, too much angelic, like no different than people how they angelicalized Trump. I mean, not Trump, Obama. But Trump is a prime example, even on the Republican side. It's like, oh my God, like, no, he's actually a bad fucking person, y'all. It's a bad person.
That's the thing, though. Obama, I mean, we celebrity worship, and then what happens is because we're the trendsetters of the world, not that they've had a culture of doing this, but they are doing it now to the point where, you've got white people that Black people don't really listen to say, hey, this is who I'm voting for. Like Taylor Swift. Are you a Swiftie? Like, do you listen to Taylor? You probably
I actually like Taylor, but I'm not taking voting advice. But I like him like
you probably might listen to her from time to time. But that's the thing. Even their people are doing it now because they see that we're a lot of us are followers. And then inside of you being a follower, I mean, y'all can't be mad at me calling you a follower if that's what you're doing. But if it's just a soundbite, right? Like if this is just a a snippet. If this is a retweets don't mean endorsement type of moment, everybody's allowed to have those. And look, you don't even have to disclaim it, because fuck y'all, right? Fuck, you know, I'm not sitting here saying that I'm owed any type of explanation from anything that anybody's ever posted. However, if you start saying you got to listen to me and it's about my tangibles, resources, rights, you know, my life, my bills, you know, how much things cost, we might have to have a conversation. And if there is no conversation because it's listen to me, trust me, bro, or, you know, without any evidence to support it, then, you know, no, we're going to have to have this conversation. You're not going to like where it goes, because it's not going to go where you want it to go. And cancel culture, they want us to do these things. They want us to cancel people, and then it will be the news. Black America turns its back on whatever it is.
But do they really? I mean, to me, I feel like they have a very forgiving souls and they forget anyways. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like they cancel long enough. They're going to forget, someone's going to come out, they're going to have a new song or something. There's really a lack of discipline going on.
Well, we got like 42 days left before the election. They just need to hold the line as long as their favorite says so. From there, y'all niggas is about to get ignored for the next 4 years if you vote Democrat and they win. Or
I mean, you're going to get ignored either way.
Republican, right. So y'all about to be ignored. You might as well just give it back to them in advance. Ignore them too. Shit. Why are we begging for attention when they pay attention to us anyway? I think we need to own, you know, how powerful our energy is and how magnetic we can be, and then, you know, do the damn thing. How we were Black Wall Street, like they literally had to be like, we haven't seen no niggas in a while. Let's see what they're up to. Get on their horse and buggy, and they go. It's like, oh shit, these niggas got cars. How? We didn't give it to them. Oh, they got more than us. How? We didn't give it to them. Need to bomb it. And then, now, 2024, I'm arguing with niggas about how it's more than one Black Wall Street. Tulsa, Oklahoma is not the only place where we were booming in a way that they had to shut it down for good.
Fundamental for niggas, I don't know, but I mean for all people. So let me be clear. It's not just niggas. The only catch is that we only somewhat care about just niggas because it impacts us. It's a reflection on us. Like, even though I feel like I don't represent all of them, they all don't represent me. I know for a fact it still kind of represent me a little bit. Like, that's embarrassing. It's like secondhand embarrassment. Y'all don't read.
I'm glad you just said that. That was a conversation we were having in the car on the way home. What happens is, and this is really America's problem right here. I'm gonna tell you right now. Black people who are Black on both sides say however they feel. Now, we all don't agree with shit, but then now we've got mixtures of Black. And then in your mixtures of Black, you can have someone as light as you be as militant as me, and then someone darker than me trying to escape. And it's like, we can't make that math because it doesn't look right. You know, you don't have enough melanin to be militant. What? Or you have melanin. How could you be?
I would say otherwise, but okay.
Just flipping the roles for a moment, because you know you can't look at somebody's skin and say that's a Black person as much as you could just be racist or bigoted and say, yeah, use a nigga and use white. And if you're not Black or white, then you're one of those mixtures. But then what about the Asians? Because they're not really a now mixture as much as it's one of its own genetic groups. You know, it's, what is it, 3 or 4 racial groups, and then everything else is a mixture of those 3 or 4. So
I mean, they probably wouldn't say that shit though.
Like, but they would have to. You can't deny the science unless we are saying, yes, we're denying the science. Like,
I wouldn't necessarily. I think for them it still falls into the same, like, but I mean, even science one, the thing about science, what makes it science is that it can be disproven. Like, some type of other piece of research could come in and take
more information
you are fully aware of.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, but I feel like when it goes to identification, Well, that's so subjective because, again, we have so many different things playing a factor into identification, whether it is, politics, again, who it benefits.
There you go.
Even too, I'm still on the course. Like, I don't know more recently, as much as, we've all went along with the 1% rule, like the 1 drop rule. Part of me is like, yeah, but it actually benefits white people. So why would I do something that, no, I would like access to your assets and resources. Absolutely. Let me start counting that percentage of white so that I can gain, like, so no, actually you owe my grandfather you own some land, some resources. A part of me is like, the more knowledge I come into and like looking at who's the creator of what, or even to think about like the guy who created Kwanzaa, like he's a terrible fucking person and he was an Italian player.
Terrible.
But however, the concept around is
like Kwanzaa. Love it.
Like what concept? Like that was well thought out. Like, I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's like one of those things. Even like, let's be honest. Candace Owens says a lot of fucked up things. Then she come through every now and then with some real like. Yeah, that's actually true. And like, I think that's one thing as an adult I'm starting to like come to terms with is that, one, I could like somebody but not really like the way they think. I could not like someone's views on something and then totally like support. And even two, they could be like my friends. I was having a conversation with a colleague I deeply respect, and his views on the Middle East to me were just very whitewashed. And when I say whitewashed, everyone loves to throw the dichotomy of like, they've always fought over. When have white people not fought? Like, so you tell me, like, even like with the way Europe is, there's also like the French, the English, they're all Germanic tribes.
Right.
They fought for their, like, so when the fuck were whites not fighting that?
No, they've always fought.
Decided that these sanders are always fighting. Like, tell me.
Okay.
How
where's he going with that? Okay.
So tell me how you made this, like, how you make this makes it okay. When, I mean, even right now, Israel, there are a bunch of people from Europe. There might be some from Morocco or somewhere like that. Maybe Iran or whatever. But even too, they've also found a way to identify ethnically as white. So let's not negate that portion of it. However, most the average Ashkenazi Jew or Ashkenazi Jew in general is European.
Correct.
Right. So why is it that we keep standing on this thing of they're always fighting over there? They're always fighting. Them. Who the fuck is them? Because y'all motherfuckers fighting all the time. So who is them? It was just you guys that told me that we wasn't even motherfucking Iraq. And then you killed some people in Iraq the other day. Not including the fact that you're holding their money. And then you get the money in cash, which like, to me, that like promotes corruption. So what the fuck is really going on?
No, it's that they're always fighting back. Right.
How dare they fight back? How dare they not take shit? They're like, those motherfuckers not taking shit. They're not laying down.
Taking it and laying down. They're not. They didn't give it to us with open arms anymore. No.
So maybe to me, we're not canceling the right things.
I agree.
I think that it's not so much canceling people, but maybe compartmentalizing people. Maybe we need a compartmentalized culture. You're a really good singer. You're funny. Yeah. I like that. I love when you do that thing, when you make that joke, or you make that voice. I love it. I'm here for it. But don't you ever fucking comment on no politics again. Matter of fact, like, that's not my lane. I love you do that thing. I love it. If you want to be a performer at the DNC convention, that's fine. Perform. Then get the fuck off the stage.
Yeah. And get paid. Can y'all stop doing this shit out of the goodness of your heart so that I can at least say it was a job? When y'all do this shit for volunteer purposes, I can't. And then I get, and the thing is, it's like, and it's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? Because you want them to have some, they're still people, right? So they still have an opinion. They're still impacted by laws. It's like a lot of people, I want to say, it's like, for example, even the Meg Thee Stallion thing. I will say part of her persona, she does promote pro-choice. So I could actually understand choosing her as a, and then she's still fresh out of college. Right. But there's like so many variables, and I understand certain things, but I don't know. I almost still feel like again, it has to be separately like entertainer. Maybe it's an entertainer that aligns with their values. I don't know, and it's all kind of, to some degree. There's gray. It's a lot of gray. So let's just be honest too. There is gray, so I get it. Or maybe we take entertainment out of politics. Like Obama is who ushered in the top 50 raps, my top 50 rap songs. Here's my top 50 books.
Because
and
Obama humanized himself. So when
he
it
did-
all came down,
right.
the history came out in the history books. They talked about the 400 drones he dropped, and the millions of Iraqi people he killed, and the war in Syria and all those things, and destroying that nation. No one was going to be there to be like, but he had a fire ass playlist on Spotify, bro.
And
he was cool. He had on that tan suit. Obama had a very special talent of making himself so charismatic that people were starstruck by him and moved by him, and that was including the media as well. Obama was like every other president.
To a snail type shit at the time, not now, because let's face it, I mean, they've said that they support Kamala, but they're not really out there on the campaign trail, and I think it's because they know the block is hot. You can't be out here acting like you're for us and then not do anything for us, because we are going to pop up and say, hey, what's up? And Kamala feels very safe with her Secret Service, but then she's like, she doesn't think that we should feel safe because we don't have Secret Service. And politics, maybe we just take all the entertainment and showbiz out of the politics, make it boring as fuck again, make it, people just
talk policies. Not about it. We just maybe didn't care as much because it was so white. And we knew nothing was for us then. We're kind of like there was nothing construed to make it seem like. So.
That's the conversation, though. Who was performing at the DNC 15 years ago?
So let's be very clear. And it's something I've had to come to terms with. So Trump can be bought, but Trump is a different can be bought. Trump is you literally have to pay him. When he was getting things taken care of for the Jews, they were paying him with money.
Indeed.
Money in that moment. It wasn't no later on, wasn't no notoriety. It was money.
IOUs, yeah.
So understand something too. So Kamala, she doesn't have to be paid with money. Her agenda may be favors or what have you, or even what comes with it, the power that comes with it. And so let me take this a bit further. I don't feel like anyone has to really campaign hard for Kamala because she's the chosen one. They selected her.
Yes.
Because here's the thing about Kamala. Kamala will do what she's asked to do, right or wrong, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yes.
She's going to get it done. In fact, so let me tell you something about being a woman of color.
Tell them.
We're going to get it done. We're going to get it done come hell or high water, right or wrong, the snowstorm, rain, because we have something to prove.
Why is it? Why?
I want you to be honest with you, but it's going to get done. But what that means, though, is that handlers and the powers that be in said shadow government is going to be able to make the moves they want to make with her in office. They're going to continue their war in the Middle East. It's going to get really bad. Some people are also going to get really rich. Now, on the flip side, Trump, you really got to pay that motherfucker. He's not going to do the thing. He's not going to do those assassination attempts. That's really them. Those are it's all coming from the inside. People want him dead. They want him dead because they can't control him.
Right.
Even though he's a really fucked up person, he's also someone that can't be controlled. He does what he wants to do when he wants to do it. And they don't want that. In fact, even the idea of ending the war in Ukraine and Russia, that's crazy to them. But our government, their objective at the end of the day is to destabilize Russia, to exhaust their resources. It's not so much about winning. We don't give a fuck about Ukraine.
Right.
Ukraine wanted to join NATO. We told them, nah, they took her up. Nah, y'all dirty.
Marie, I watched these Russian citizens, Ukrainian citizens, people over there. Who knows? I know. I'm a bigot. I'm bad. I'm so mean. Look, there was drones, real drones and real bombs, in the distance, 10 miles away in the distance, 5 miles away in the distance, explosions. And I'm like, they are really at war. And not like I didn't think that this stuff was happening. But when you watch these videos, unless you've been desensitized, and I purposely choose not to watch shit like this because I don't like turning it off. And when I say turning it off, I'm talking about my emotions, my feelings, how it's moving things inside of me to see that there are people in the world blowing the fuck up. They can't identify these people because there's no body to identify. They just know that that nigga was over there about 10 minutes ago and now it's a hand over here.
I mean, that's what's actually throwing off the count for all the Palestinian civilians that they're murdering, is that they're obliterating.
There's no body.
There's no body. So there's no body, they don't have to count anything, so they can keep their count low. Which at first they were keeping it high because they were so proud of themselves, until it became like massive and it was like labeled genocide. Then it was like, yeah, well, did you find a body? No,
you didn't find a body. There is no body.
No case. Yeah. And they're like, and then America's like, you're doing such a good job. Let's take this act on tour to Lebanon.
And see,
but Eric,
look, America's DL needs to mind its fucking business, worry about home, because your shit stinks, America. How dare you talk about anybody? How dare you even throw your support behind anybody else that's not America?
But see,
that's this steaming hellish shit over here that you haven't taken care of yet.
So that's where, like Eric said, like it's money. So one, I hate the fact that everyone says, like everyone always says it's all about money. But the thing is, everyone's accepted. So how are you so how have we gotten so far from grace? Which not to say that we ever were in that motherfucker, right? But think about it. If you've just accepted that America goes out and does all these wrong things because it's about money, like, and you're okay with that? It's like, well, it's all about money. That's the end of the conversation. And we're okay with this? That being said, I recently had to kind of really just come to terms that this is not just Israel doing this. This is America. This is America with their agenda that they've been pushing for the past 20 years to bulldoze the Middle fucking East. Either you get down or you lay down. And the countries that we're not at war with because they're fucking corrupt too and they're in the bed with us. Right. So when you look at Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Dubai, these are countries that are equally fucked up, and they've made some alliance or an arrangement with us, and that's why they're not being touched. As you notice, these countries are also not coming to their defense. And the irony too is that it's like, well, if you do all the shit you've done to me for 20 years, I'd be radicalized too. Hell, just learning about it, reading about it makes you kind of
make you feel
radicalized. Like, you're like, whoa. But like I said too, it's like this whole idea that we just keep saying Israel to America. They couldn't even do the shit without American bombs. Mm-hmm. Then the irony is Israel really, unfortunately, they fall into a lot of negative stereotypes that have always been said about Jews that come across anti-Semitic. And it's like playing the middle. Even too recently, I was doing some research and found out that they were selling the arms that they were getting from America to Russia. Mm-hmm. There's like so many, they even had like arms deals with fucking China. And it's like, you little motherfuckers, you. And to be honest with you, and I say that, and let me be cautionary. I actually don't think that Russia's the boogeyman. I don't think that China's the boogeyman. I don't care what you say they have done, because I know for a fact, it's documented, America killing an entire island of Filipinos. It's like just killing them all, everyone in sight.
Because we're number one. The number one.
And so to me, I know for a fact that if anything, at best, like, God forbid you be out here, be like us. How dare you? Because even to the idea of like what's going on in Israel and Palestine,
no.
Matter. Russia actually, like in a lifetime, Ukraine was part of Russia.
Right.
Someone is saying that 25,000 years ago, their ancestors, that was they block. Huh? And people are really like, yeah, it belongs to them. And if you go against them, Christians, like, if that's the God you serve, like, you and this God got some things fucked up. I'm gonna be like that, and they're silent. There's more Christian Zionists than there are Jewish Zionists. It's kind of like, and to me, it's like, are you guys just trying to bring the rapture or something? Like, do these people even want you alive? And why would you want a bunch of people in one area? That actually sounds dangerous. Sounds like you're trying to kill me or something. So do you want the end of days to come and then you murder me? Because even too in that prophecy, they do murder anyone that doesn't accept Christ. Like, there's so many diabolical things about there, but like, yes, give them their own country. Give them their own country and put them all there because it's safe there. That's the most dangerous fucking place to be in, if you ask me.
I'm saying go be there in that one spot, all of you. And then, well.
I mean, historically, even in those movies, they split up like even the congressman. Like there's like the person, everybody cannot be in the same place at once.
Because the secession line, the line of secession has to make sense.
It's like, but let's put all the Jews in one place. That doesn't even make sense. That sounds disastrous. And then again, if you're trying to bring about the rapture, that's scary too. And it's like, and it says actually they're using scripture. Well, the Bible said God would restore them. But all the shit they doing, I no wonder they were wandering so fucking long. No, y'all don't want to do right. Like, no wonder. Like, I wouldn't restore shit for you guys.
Go wander in that desert for another 400 years, guys.
That's why this like, because if this is what happens when y'all get together, this is.
You might need to wander some more. Shit, that's a hell of a point, Marie. Damn, I never thought about it like that. If you keep getting it wrong, then maybe it's not your time yet. Maybe there's some more work to be done before.
Well, in essence, when this is supposed to happen, when they're supposed to be restored to Israel, supposed to be in peace. Like that's what the scriptures say. So not a damn thing peaceful's happened in the last 75 years. Like, so I don't, and even to the idea that like the King Solomon Church, there was like they blew it up. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you set of people? In the sense of entitlement and the nationalism and the supremacy. And even to say I'm going to create a Jewish state in the middle of an Arab like region. Like that's so like, come on now. Like
it sounds hostile.
Like white supremacists going into, it's no different than the Dutch being in South Africa. Yeah. Or white colonizers going into any African nation. Right. Or we talk about Belgium and the Congo. Like, and then like, years later, 56 years later, you're like, oh, those poor Congolese we've murdered for.
Oh yeah, let's memorialize them with the sculpture in downtown, and we'll think about them every time we see the sculpture.
And the irony is like that, even with historians maybe somewhat accurately reporting history, we're just like, yeah, but we gonna repeat that shit for sure.
Yeah.
But back to, I guess, to get us back on topic, maybe there's a compartmentalization of culture and perhaps even some cancel of culture. I will say this, going back to even the Diddy thing, the fact that someone could be so kinky and diabolical, and not to say that I'm just the most
you're not vanilla.
I don't even know. Like, as recently, I told everyone I believe in reincarnation, and not that I just think that like the idea of heaven actually sounds boring after a while. Like even a fun place like an amusement park, after a while, you're boring. Like just send me back down, sir. That being said, I'm probably not the most devout Christian for anyone to talk to, because my ideologies are like, yeah, that ain't what's about. Yeah, I know, but that don't even sound fun after a while. I thought it was supposed to be a pleasurable place. Send me back. That being said, though,
I'm ready to go.
I'm like, that being said, I genuinely think that we have to not just reevaluate who we're listening to, but what we're allowing to influence us. And it does also mean the music, and that's where the Diddy thing falls back into frequencies. So it's been scientifically proven that frequencies do impact our minds, whether it can change our energy from being up, down. But it's really influential on us. Yeah. So the idea that also there's a person that's impacting, that's selecting what music gets played, what music, is on the radio, what gets pushed to us in general. Even how we were recently talking about like Sexy Red, like I actually think her music is funny and fun. Would I ever go to her concert? No. That being said though, being more cautionary of the music that you consume, even if it's not just about the lyrics, and even though you may take it a certain way, doesn't mean that it's not impacting the wiring of your brain.
That part.
And honestly, the idea that there are people behind, and again, I'm starting to think about who's connected to who knows who, even like looking at those, now I did see a funny meme. It said that America is so progressive that they had a black and a white Epstein. You're like, well, you got a black and a white one.
Opportunity.
But the irony, though, too, what people don't realize, it's not even so much true that he was having freak parties, is that he was also using the information he had to blackmail people. And that's the same thing that Epstein was doing with the Mossad. And I wouldn't doubt if they might all be connected. That being said, you don't know who's controlling what their intentions are within the frequency of the music that you're consuming. And even if the lyrics didn't say anything raunchy or, inappropriate, you don't necessarily know about the frequency of the sound. So I would be very cautionary of that. And I think that if anything, not just being woke on a level of, oh, I'm so progressive, but being aware that you might be under attack in so many different ways. And it doesn't mean it's always the devil attack you, but to some degree too, people want your mind. They want access to you. They want to change the way you think. They want to justify things that typically wouldn't be justifiable. They want to normalize, when you normalize dysfunction, that's why so many people oftentimes can't climb out of negative environments or the hood or whatever that, because it's been normalized. It's what they know. So even the idea of doing something different to them, it sounds like it's a fantasy, or only white people do that, or only rich people do that. It doesn't seem like it's reachable or feasible or doable, because that's not what's normalized for them. And so in essence too, you could be kind of imprisoning yourself in like a open air prison by the content, the music, and the things that you're consuming.
Absolutely. That's a hell of a closing remark. The frequencies and the energy. Eric in the chat, you definitely hit the nail on the head with children. A lot of times we're listening, we're in our own world, and then y'all got minis out here already, and they just absorbing and soaking it up. So while you might have compartmentalized it because you are an adult, competent, critical thinking, and then your mini just can't do it yet. They're not ready for it. Yeah, we have to be very responsible and cognizant of, like what Marie just said. I'm not going to sit here and repeat everything you just said. I love that shit, what you just said.
That was something I've been thinking about. And me, so the funny part is I find that I do better when I listen to classical music. And so it's like I find that if I listen to words, if I know the song, I want to like start singing it. It's distracting me, like it's a total. So it's like the classical music, but then I even think about how would it be so weird? I'll be having these weird moments where like I'm reading something and it seems almost profound because of the music that's in the background.
Oh, you've got a Beethoven moment.
But it's like, and then for me, a lot of it is like psychology stuff. So it is like profound because like, I'm learning about I've been like, not just for my schoolwork, but I've been attracted to so much more literature about how the brain functions, neurology, neuroscience, and just even training my brain, things like that. Because I think a lot of times everyone assumes you get a certain age and you start to decline when that is like further from the truth, which also gives you that idea that even these people that you think are adults may not be that mature. Absolutely. So, oh, they're grown. No, it's just, you're simplifying it. Yeah. Like, even with the thing, these people knew they're going. You're simplifying it. It's actually not as simple as you think. In fact, it's deeper than that. And it is a control thing. When people use their influence, their power, imagine somebody has something you really, really want. You really, really want. You have nothing to lose. Like there's so many variables. People don't realize that, and the control mechanism behind it. Like it's so manipulative. And then what happens is simple-minded people, they're grown. They were grown.
Yeah, they were grown. They chose it without having to cop for the abuse aspect, the you knew better aspect. You will never be able to argue with me that a person a decade, 2 decades older than the person that's being seemingly harmed didn't know better. At 10 years older than somebody, unless you're going to say, no, that person had a mental deficiency. That person is actually slow, and here's documentation of it. So outside of that, living your life 10 years before someone else got here, I think that's enough time for you to be able to get over on somebody. From there, 10 years is not a lot of time at all. You could be best friends with someone 10 years older than you, and y'all be on the same level. But if the brain doesn't actually mature until 25, then what you said,
it doesn't. That's the thing, though. Science proves that the brain does not mature at that state. And you also can be put in like a permanent purgatory or trauma due to your lifestyle, where you come from. Imagine if you do come from a place that used to have a lot of traumatic experiences, it actually stunts your growth.
Stunted. Right. But no, you're grown. You know what you're doing.
You don't. And that being said too, I think that you have to remember these people are predators. P. Diddy's a predator. Sean Combs is a predator. And I say this and it reminds me of the story. There's this guy. He happened to be friends. And we'll say this story and I'm wrapping shit up. We're going to wrap it up, you guys. He was very wealthy. He was friends with someone I worked with, and we were really good friends. He was friends with her cousin, and he had like helped her get a job at Burlington Train Co. Burlington Train Co. is Warren Buffett's train company. So he helped her. So she's like, well, maybe he can help you or whatever. So, nothing of it, it's her cousin's friend, no big deal. So he like wants to meet with me. And then it's like, he asked me a lot of questions, it's not like normal, first, basic questions. Then, he asked about my upbringing, things like that. And he would like offer to do things. And I was kind of like, hey, you keep trying to offer me money, keep offering this, I was trying to, what's up with a plug on a job? And he legitimately would offer me money, just random things. Then it was like, even one time he was like, well, we're both adults. If you ever wanted to have sex, why the fuck would I want, in my head, why would I want to fuck you? I don't know. And so the funny part, mind you, this is a little bit before that occurred. I think one of my other girlfriends, she just finished her master's program. So she's, everyone, if you know one thing, I don't have a degree, right? So she just finished her master's program. And he says, he knows all these different people. So I tried to, but I will say she's very outspoken, very intelligent, articulate, and he didn't want to work with her. Want to know why? Because she wasn't weak. She didn't have any vulnerabilities. What men like to do is, so me, it was like, oh, you don't have the best relationship with your dad, or your father's a functional dad. And so what they do is they prey on women that might have vulnerabilities. And so to him, to me, he deemed me someone that might have been vulnerable. And so it's like, I can help you with this. So it's like, instead of actually connecting me with someone like he did my homegirl, it's like he wants to keep meeting and talking and having coffee and all this shit, because he's really trying to get close to me to kind of break me down.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There is a type. If we're going to cancel anything, I think we're going to have to cancel some current beliefs that we currently, let's not be repetitive. Let's cancel some beliefs that we've currently thought were okay. Some practices that we grew up on, because it's okay to say that shit doesn't work anymore. And we got to get comfortable saying, yeah, that might have been how you used to do things, but it's not quite working right now. And y'all have to really mean that shit, because that's how you cancel something. You can't cancel it for 12 days, for a week. Y'all attention span having niggas. I love you because I got ADHD too, but we're gonna have to work together.
We work together. We're all gonna get help together. Here's something that is so when we talk about these celebrities, it's not so much that they're celebrities, it's that we worship money. And for some reason we thought that our ancestors' wildest dream was to be an oppressor. Wildest dream. And I think, understand something, true power is the ability to liberate others. It's not to oppress them. So that being said, I say that to say that we keep equating to goals to money, even when it's ill-gotten gains. And that shit has to stop. Mm-hmm. That's why people are listening to fucking P. Diddy or this person or that person or whatever, because they have money, and everyone's and that's also how people again get got, because they're trying to they become a victim indirectly, because they're trying to chase this money, they're trying to chase whatever this is, and this person has, and they know that you ain't got shit else, they know that you need them, they know. That's no different than me wanting a podcast and someone trying to take advantage of me just so I could get the followers. But we see it all the time where people you celebrity, or you're endorsing someone just because they either have wealth, they have followers, they look this way, or they look the part, or whatever. And the whole goddamn time, they're fucking terrible people. Absolutely. With ill-gotten gains. If whatever you did was atrocious to make the money you made, no one should aspire to that. If someone had to take a huge loss in order for you to make a gain, which even too sometimes is what capitalism looks like. It looks like a bunch of people taking fucking L's while someone else is just sitting at the top. It looks like a really nice Ponzi scheme. It looks like a nice pyramid scheme.
I say if it's that, just be honest about the shit. we got to cancel the lying or the rapey aspect of it all. This, I'm going to force it on you and you have to take it. And if you don't want to take it, well, now you're the bad guy, or you're going to
ever hear about Rihanna?
What about Rihanna?
So apparently Rihanna says that she was in a hotel room at 3 a.m., mind you, at 16, 3 a.m. in a hotel room with Jay-Z. And he says she's leaving the room one way out the window or through that door. So it was whether she signed the contract or not. You know what some niggas said? She's a millionaire now or a billionaire now. That's all we fucking care about is if someone's wealthy now. So I guess maybe that wealth will help you pay for
counseling and therapy and some drugs. Maybe.
But that's all we seem to think about. Is like, oh, at least they have money now, or they have money now. They have money now. And that's why I get why now white people be killing themselves, because having money is not enough. That's why they jump off these goddamn buildings.
Robin Williams was one of everybody's favorite actors across the board, and he killed himself. Money doesn't equate to happiness. So if y'all are out here,
you don't know that. I guess that's why
you might be somebody who needs help.
When you're poor, I guess you're not. No one's telling you that, because I will say this: when you're poor, you think money is the solution to everything. Then you get money, and there's other problems that money can't.
Oh yeah, that money is not fixing. Money is
like my health.
This bitch want to fuck me. Like what? What's going on? Money's not making this man want to be with me. What's going on? Yeah, because it's not about the money. It is about the money, and it's not about the money. Shit, that's our next show. Yo, make us do that next week. It's all about the money. But until next week, I think this has been pretty cool. Marie, thank you for being here with me. Yo, shit, it's like 50, 90 people are with us right now. Y'all are all cool. Hit the likes. Make sure you get notified next time.
Tell a friend. See you next week.
Tell a friend. Make them uncomfortable. But until next time, we'll see you later. Good night.